In the sprawling, neon-drenched labyrinth of the galaxy, places like Meridian Station are the pulse points of the weary. Here, the artificial night is thick with the scent of ozone and secrets, and the shadows lengthen like forgotten promises, pulling you into the abyss. Repair Base 7 was a sanctuary of grease and solitude for Jake Morrison, a man who had traded the blow-soaked insignia of the Terran Defense Corps for the honest hum of precision tools. He had spent 5 years building things for others to destroy. Now, 3 years into his new life, he only fixed what was broken. There is a poetic irony in how we try to outrun our past, isn't there? We build fortresses of routine, thinking we are safe, until the bay doors hiss open like escaping steam, and destiny walks in. She stood silhouetted against the corridor's amber haze, moving with the jagged grace of someone holding their shattered pieces together by sheer will. She was Zara. Her armor, the angular, distinctive plating of Valkyrie craftsmanship, told a violent story. Plasma burns across the chest, shrapnel scarring the shoulders, the blue-tinted skin beneath visible through jagged gaps. But it was her posture, rigid dignity fighting exhaustion, that stopped Jake cold. "Base open," Jake called out, his voice rougher than he intended. "Plasma damage to primary systems," she replied, her melodic accent clashing with the harsh reality of her wounds. "Targeting array fried, power coupling hit." As she removed the damaged plating with practiced, stoic efficiency, dismissing his offer of a privacy screen because, as she noted, modesty is a luxury warriors cannot afford, Jake saw beyond the soldier. He saw the droop of her elongated ears, a physiological betrayal of her inner defeat. She introduced herself as Sergeant Zara, formerly of the 3rd Valkyrie Strike Battalion. That word, former, hung in the air between them, heavy as a tombstone. Jake's scanner whistled low over the wreckage. "This is ambush damage," he observed, his own combat instincts flaring up like an old ache. She confessed then, her hands clenching. It was a simple extraction mission turned slaughter. Pirates with impossible intel. A trap. Jake, sensing the spiraling gravity of her trauma, offered the only peace offering that mattered in deep space. Real coffee, not the synthetic sludge from the dispensers. As the rich aroma filled the workspace, they sat like two ghosts haunting the machinery. Jake, the engineer who grew tired of destruction. Zara, the warrior bred for it. It is strange how strangers often make the best confessors, perhaps because they have no stake in our history, only our present. "I used to think I was valuable," Zara whispered, staring into the dark liquid. "3 days ago, we lost 4 warriors in 30 seconds. The civilians were already dead. I walked my people into a massacre." "Bad intel isn't your fault," Jake countered, his voice steady. "Is it?" she asked, her silver-flecked eyes reflecting the harsh bay lights. "Or do people die because warriors like me make the wrong choices?" It was a question Jake had asked his own reflection 1,000 times. He focused on fabricating the new power coupling, the machine chiming a rhythm of renewal. He asked her what she would do once the armor was fixed. For the first time, the soldier had no orders. She was adrift. They spoke of the expectations placed upon them. Humans who could be anything, and Valkyrie who were only allowed to be weapons. Yet, as the night deepened, the layers peeled back further. Zara revealed a secret that seemed incongruous with her lethal profession. From her pack, she produced a slim case. Inside were pressed flowers, over 300 specimens from 47 worlds. She showed him a silver blossom from Kepler Prime that only bloomed during solar storms, and a tiny blue starflower from the ice caves of Titan 7. It was a legacy from her mother, a reminder that remembering beauty was just as important as protecting it. "I see someone," Jake said, his voice dropping to a hushed reverence, "who thinks she is just functional, a tool, but you are extraordinary." He reached out, his thumb grazing the scar on her jaw. He told her that her beauty wasn't the soft, safe kind found in holodramas. It was earned. It was the beauty of survival. For a moment, the galaxy outside ceased to spin, the air between them charged with the electricity of being truly seen for the first time. Then the illusion shattered. The bay doors hissed open, admitting Colonel Fex Moran. He was a statue of military arrogance, his ceremonial armor gleaming, his presence sucking the warmth from the room. He was there to collect his property. He offered Zara a place in a new deep reconnaissance unit, framing her survival as a qualification for further violence. When Jake stepped in, placing himself between the predator and his prey, the tension snapped tight. "She is not equipment to be requisitioned," Jake growled. Fex sneered, his hand drifting to his blade. "Remember who you are, Zara. Remember what you were born to do." He left them with an ultimatum, a poison pill of duty. The silence that followed was deafening. Zara looked at Jake, torn between the indoctrination of a lifetime and the man who saw her flowers. "Give me until tomorrow," she had told the colonel. And to Jake, she left a lingering question. "What happens if I stay?" We figure out what comes after the part where the functional warrior and the broken engineer meet at 3 o'clock a.m., Jake had answered. The dawn cycle brought artificial sunlight to the observation deck, casting long shadows across the floor where Jake waited, nursing cold coffee and fragile hope. When Zara approached, the rigid military bearing was gone, replaced by a fluidity that looked like freedom. "I turned him down," she said, the words simple, the impact seismic. She wasn't staying for Jake, not entirely. She was staying because she finally refused to let the world define her worth. She had accepted a position at a new training facility on Kepler Station, teaching the next generation, with a contract that allowed for a life, for leave time, for flowers. "I'm staying in the sector," she smiled, the expression transforming her face. "The question is, what are you going to do about it?" Jake stood, taking her hand. "I'm going to prove I'm not broken, just reassembled in a more interesting configuration." "And I," Zara replied, stepping into his space, "am interested in that configuration." In stories like this, we expect the grand battles to be the climax, but often, the greatest victory is simply choosing to be happy in a universe that demands your misery. As they stood before the viewport, watching ships dance in the void, Jake cupped her face. "You are the warrior who chose peace," he whispered, "the soldier who collects flowers. And you," she murmured, "are the man who changed everything." Her kiss tasted of coffee and starlight, a collision of worlds that felt like a new beginning. They walked toward the lifts, hands intertwined, planning shuttle schedules to Kepler Station and discussing how to introduce a human engineer to a Valkyrie family. Jake Morrison had spent years fixing machines, but as the lift doors closed on the view of the eternal stars, he realized he wasn't just repairing armor anymore. He was building a future. For the first time, the vast emptiness of space didn't feel lonely. It felt like room to grow.